You've probably noticed that little padlock icon next to website addresses in your browser. Ever wonder what it actually means? Or why some sites say not secure and others don't? Today, we're breaking down HTTP versus HTTPS in a way that actually makes sense. No tech jargon, no confusing explanations, just the real deal on what's protecting your data online and what's leaving you vulnerable. Let's jump in. First up, HTTP. This stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which I know sounds super technical, but stick with me. HTTP is basically the language your browser uses to talk to websites. When you type in a web address and hit enter, HTTP is what fetches that website and brings it to your screen. Think of it like this. HTTP is the delivery system that carries information back and forth between you and the website you're visiting. You click a link, HTTP delivers the request. The website responds, HTTP brings that response back to you. Pretty straightforward, right? Here's where it gets sketchy though. When you're using HTTP, all that data traveling back and forth, it's sent in plain text. And by plain text, I mean anyone who intercepts it can read it. Your search queries, your usernames, your passwords, everything you type into a website using HTTP is basically an open book. Imagine sending a postcard through the mail with your credit card number written on it. Anyone handling that postcard could read your info, copy it down, and use it however they want. That's basically what HTTP does with your data. It's out there, completely exposed, traveling across the internet where literally anyone with the right tools can grab it. This is where hackers come in. If you're browsing a site without encryption and you enter sensitive information like your address, phone number, or payment details, that data is vulnerable. A hacker sitting somewhere between you and the website can intercept that information and steal it, and you wouldn't even know it happened. So yeah, HTTP has a massive security problem. This is exactly why HTTPS exists. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Notice that extra S? That's the game changer. HTTPS does everything HTTP does, but with one crucial difference. It encrypts your data. Encryption means that all the information traveling between your browser and the website is scrambled into unreadable code. So even if a hacker manages to intercept your data, all they get is a bunch of jumbled nonsense. Without the encryption key, that data is completely useless to them. Here's how it works. When you visit a website using HTTPS, your browser asks the website to prove it's legit. The website responds by sending over something called an SSL certificate or a TLS certificate. These are basically digital ID cards that verify the website is who it claims to be. SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer, and TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. TLS is actually the updated version of SSL, but people still use both terms pretty interchangeably. The important thing is that these certificates allow your browser and the website to establish a secure, encrypted connection. Once your browser verifies the certificate, the real magic happens. Your browser and the website work together to create what's called a session key. This is a unique encryption key that only your browser and that specific website know. All the data sent back and forth during your visit gets encrypted using this key, which means it stays completely private. Let me break down the process a bit more. Step 1. Your browser connects to the website and says, "Hey, I want a secure connection." Step 2. The website sends back its certificate along with a public key. This public key is part of something called asymmetric encryption. Data encrypted with the public key can only be unlocked with a matching private key that only the website has. Step 3. Your browser generates that session key. I mentioned earlier, encrypts it using the website's public key and sends it back. Since only the website has the private key, only the website can decrypt and read that session key. Step 4. Now, both your browser and the website have the same session key. From this point on, all data is encrypted with this key using what's called symmetric encryption. This is faster and more efficient than asymmetric encryption, which is why it's used for the actual data transfer. The whole process happens in seconds, totally in the background. You don't have to do anything except look for that padlock icon in your browser's address bar. That little padlock means the website has a valid certificate and your connection is encrypted. If a website doesn't have HTTPS, most browsers will warn you that the site is not secure. This is a huge red flag, especially if that website is asking you to enter any personal information. You should think twice before entering passwords, credit card numbers, or anything sensitive on a site without HTTPS. Now, you might be wondering, why doesn't every website just use HTTPS all the time? Great question. And honestly, These days, most do. In fact, major browsers like Chrome and Firefox now push websites to adopt HTTPS by default. Google even penalizes websites in search rankings if they're not using HTTPS. So if you're running a website and you want people to find it and trust it, HTTPS is basically essential. But let's talk about why HTTPS matters to you as someone browsing the web. If you're shopping online and entering your credit card information, HTTPS ensures that data is encrypted. If you're logging into your email, social media, or bank account, HTTPS protects your password from being stolen. Even if you're just reading articles or watching videos, HTTPS prevents third parties from tracking what you're doing or injecting malicious code into the web page. Without HTTPS, your online activity is way more vulnerable. And it's not just hackers you need to worry about. Internet service providers, governments, or even someone on the same Wi-Fi network at a coffee shop could potentially snoop on your unencrypted traffic. So, yeah, that little S makes a big difference. One last thing worth mentioning. Not all HTTPS is created equal. Some websites might have outdated certificates or weak encryption methods. Most modern browsers are pretty good at catching this and warning you, but it's still something to be aware of. If your browser says a site's certificate is invalid or expired, don't ignore it. That's a sign something's off. To wrap this up, here's what you need to remember. HTTP is the basic protocol that lets your browser communicate with websites, but it sends data in plain text, which makes it super easy for hackers to steal your information. HTTPS is the secure version. It encrypts your data using SSL or TLS certificates, making it unreadable to anyone trying to intercept it. Always look for that padlock icon in your browser's address bar before entering. Sensitive information. If it's not there, proceed with caution. And if you're curious about how browsers and servers actually communicate in the first place, or you want to dive deeper into web security, I've got more videos covering those topics. Check the description for links. That's it for today. Now you know why that little S matters so much. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.